Fallout New Vegas, a story about bad luck, second chances, and just how far a courier with some ambition can make it with a good supply of bullets and a can-do attitude. One moment, you're carrying a mysterious package through the desert. The next, you're staring down the barrel of a gun, buried in a shallow grave and left for dead. The man in the checkered suit walks away with the chip, and I'm left with nothing but questions and a hole in my head. But the Mojave doesn't forgive weakness. To survive, I'll need to find allies, become resourceful, and hunt down the man who thought putting me in the dirt would keep me there. In a small town called Goodsprings, this is where the story begins.
War. War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes. As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the new California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law. As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert. They returned with tales of a city untouched by the warheads that had scorched the rest of the world, and a great wall spanning the Colorado River. The NCR mobilized its army and sent it east to occupy Hoover Dam and restore it to working condition. But across the Colorado, another society had arisen under a different flag. A vast army of slaves forged from the conquest of 86 tribes, Caesar's Legion. 4 years have passed since the Republic held the dam, just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat. Through it all, the New Vegas Strip has stayed open for business, under the control of its mysterious overseer, Mr. House, and his army of rehabilitated tribals and police robots. You are a courier, hired by the Mojave Express to deliver a package to the New Vegas Strip. What seemed like a simple delivery job has taken a turn for the worse.
You got what you were after, so pay up.
You're crying in the rain, Pally.
Guess who's waking up over here?
Time to cash out.
Will you get it over with?
Maybe cons kill people without looking them in the face. But I ain't a fink. Dig? You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene. From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
I woke up on a stranger's hospital bed, staring at a ceiling fan that might outlive us all. Doc Mitchell tells me I've been shot in the head, which, judging by how I feel, is the most believable thing anyone's ever said to me.
Why don't you just relax a second? Get your bearings. Let's see what the damage is.
Doc Mitchell asks me if I remember my name, and then proceeds to judge me when I tell him what it is.
You can't say that's what I'd have picked for you, but if that's your name, that's your name. I'm Doc Mitchell.
He then makes sure that my face is intact. After all, wouldn't want anything missing.
You go rooting around there in your noggin and pull all the bits of lead out. I take pride in my needlework, but you'd better tell me if I left anything out of place. How'd I do?
Doc Mitchell gets me out of bed and then proceeds to tell me to take it slow. I immediately don't listen. I distribute my special points to how I feel is appropriate for myself. Here's the build for my character if any of you care.
Surprised anybody'd want to tangle with you. Heck, you could go deathclaw hunting with a switch. Well, we know your vitals are good, but that don't mean the bullet didn't leave you nuttered in a big old drop. What do you say you take a seat in my couch?
Doc then runs me through some questions, some tests, and lets me pick my skills. Turns out brain damage is just a chance to reinvent yourself.
I'm gonna say a word. I want you to say the first thing that comes to mind. Well, that's all she wrote. You don't have nothing to compare it to, so maybe you'd better just have a look at the results.
Once again, here are the skills if any of you care.
Before I turn you loose, I need one more thing from you. You got a form for you to fill out so I can get a sense of your medical history. Just a formality. Ain't like I expect to find you got a family history of getting shot in the head.
For my traits, I thought long and hard. I went with Wild Wasteland, the only Gary-approved perk, and Trigger Discipline, because if I'm gonna shoot things, I'd like to actually hit them. After borrowing some things, Doc sends me on my way, patched up and armed with nothing but secondhand gear and mild amnesia.
Here, these are yours. Was all you had on you when you was brought in. I hope you don't mind, but I gave the note a look. I thought it might help me find a next of kin. But it was just something about a platinum chip. Well, if you're heading back out there, you ought to have this. They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in one of them vaults they made before the war. We all got one. Ain't much use to be now, but you might want such a thing after what you've been through. I know what it's like having something taken from you. And put this on too, so the locals don't pick on you for lacking modesty. Never was much my style anyway. Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for. You should talk to Sunny Smiles before you leave town. She can help you learn to fend for yourself in the desert. She'll likely be at the saloon. I reckon some of the other folks at the saloon might be able to help you out too. And the metal fella, Victor, who pulled you out of your grave. Anyway, you ever get hurt out there, you come right back. I'll fix you up. But try not to get...
I step into the Mojave Sun for the first time, and immediately get ambushed by every DLC pop-up ever made. My immersion was shot more times than I was. Welcome to Goodsprings, a quiet little town south of Vegas that just might have unleashed death itself on the wasteland. First stop, Chet's store, where I trade a few caps for supplies I'll almost certainly waste in a gunfight.
You must be the one Doc Mitchell was patching up. The way I heard it, I didn't think you'd be walking out of that office. I've got plenty of supplies for sale. Even got some weapon mods, and if you're hurting for caps, I've also got boxes of surplus ammo in the miscellaneous section. They're not great, but you get what you pay for. Can do. Give me a shout if you need anything else. The leader was a New Vegas type. Typical city boy. He had a bunch of Great Khans with him, probably hired guns. The Great Khans normally stay in their own territory way up northwest, on account of them being enemies with the NCR. Take it easy now.
On the way to the saloon, I meet Easy Pete, local dynamite hoarder and part-time safety instructor.
What can Easy Pete do for you?
Then, there's Sunny Smiles, Goodsprings survivalist. She offers to show me the ropes, and considering I was literally dead yesterday,
Sounds like you
I
need all the
accept.
help you can get after what they done to you. Meet me outside, behind the saloon.
Out back of the saloon, Sunny makes sure my depth perception hasn't been scrambled.
Now,
Considering my brain has been put through a 9mm blender, I'd say that I'm a pretty decent shot.
that's the right idea. Look down the sight. Try crashing down.
And, knowing my love for destroying nature, Sunny offers me to tag along for a gecko hunt. I accept.
You came to me to learn to fight of bottles. Tell you what, I gotta go chase geckos away from our water supply anyway. Darn critters are attracted to it. Why don't you come along? Follow me. It's just down to the southeast a short ways.
Out at the water pumps, Sunny tells me to sneak up on the pack of geckos. I try and fail. Subtlety isn't my strong suit. The geckos charge, I put them down. We clear the first pump, and by the third, we even managed to save a woman from becoming desert chow. Mission accomplished, confidence restored.
Holy moly. If you hadn't come here like you've done, I'd be a goner for sure. I came up here to draw water, but here, you should have what I got. You look thirsty. Now that was some good work. Even got a little exciting there at the end. Here's a little spending money for the trouble. One more thing I wanted to show you. Thought I might teach you about living off the land and making useful things for yourself. Interested? Alright then. We'll need a couple ingredients to get started. Gonna want some.
Sunny then offers me a lesson in Mojave cooking. She sends me after a few ingredients, so I head to this old schoolhouse, clearing out a swarm of mantises and breaking into an old safe while I'm at it. Outside, I find the Xander root. At the cemetery, I take a moment to stare down my own grave before looking toward New Vegas. A quiet reminder of why I'm here, and what's waiting for me. I pick up the Brock flower and head back to Sunny.
Alright now. We're gonna be making something folks on the trail.
With the
call-
ingredients in hand, Sunny shows me how to make healing powder. Lessons learned. Survival in the Mojave is about scavenging, improvising, and hoping you don't get caught up in any town drama. Back at the saloon, I walk into an argument. Trudy's facing down a man named Joe Cobb, a powder ganger with a permanent scowl and a chip on his shoulder. He's threatening to burn Goodsprings to the ground if they don't hand over someone named Ringo. Trudy holds her ground, but it's clear this town's on the edge of a fight. He stops to glare at me before returning to the rest of the children of the corn. I talk to Trudy about the situation and see if I can make myself useful.
Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon. Looks like our little town got itself dragged into the middle of something we don't want anything to do with. About a week ago, this traitor, Ringo, comes into town. Survivor of an attack, he says. Bad men after him. Needs a place to hide. We figured he was just in shock, so we gave him a place to lie low. We didn't actually expect anyone to come after him. Some of the others, like Sonny, will probably stand up for Ringo if he asks for help, which he hasn't. Personally, I hope he sneaks out of town one night and takes the powder gangers with him. Chain gangs, really. The NCR brought them in from California to work on the rail lines. Problem is, it turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea. It was a big escape not too long ago. Some of them stuck together so they could make trouble. That's what we're dealing with now. You mean murder him? That's not our way, even if Cobb is scum. He can bluster and threaten all he wants. He's holed up at the abandoned gas station up the hill. All right. Not much, other than there were a bunch of freeloaders who expected a few rounds on the house. I was able to get them to pay up, though. Of course, one of the great cons did knock my radio to the floor, by accident, and it hasn't been working since. They were having some kind of argument about it, but the guy in the checkered coat kept shushing them. It sounded like they came in from the north through Quarry Junction. If that's the case, I can't say I blame them for not wanting to go back. That whole area is overrun with the kind of critters that just get mad if you shoot them. Merchants avoid that whole stretch of I-15 like it's radioactive, which it could be for all I know. I didn't hear exactly, but the leader was talking about the strip. Fellow wants to get there and avoid the 15, he'd have to go east. Take Highway 93 up. Got a special discount. If you were able to get Ringo out of this mess, you'd have a decent reputation around Goodsprings. Of course, helping Ringo would also make the powder gangers mad, and they've got a lot of friends out there. Be careful out there.
At the gas station, I find Ringo, the man Joe Cobb's so desperate to kill. He's hiding out, waiting for the town to choose between helping him or handing him over. For me, the choice is clear. Side with Ringo and stand with Goodsprings. Going to stand a chance, we need help. Sunny smiles and Trudy agree to fight. Chet, on the other hand, refuses. Cowardice comes cheap in this town. Easy Pete hands over his dynamite, and Doc Mitchell steps up, offering medical supplies. With our new ragtag posse all together, all that's left is the fight. The next day, it's time. High noon in Goodsprings. The powder gangers march in with Joe Cobb at their lead, ready to take the town by force. The townsfolk and I dig in, and the shootout begins. Bullets fly, shouts echo, and in minutes, it's over. Joe Cobb and his men lie dead in the street. Goodsprings survives. In the aftermath, the town thanks me. Ringo is safe, Trudy, Sonny, and all the others return to their lives, bruised but alive.
I'll stick around for a bit longer, but I'll be gone in a few days. If you ever visit New Vegas, look me up at the Crimson Caravan Camp.
That'll teach the powder gangs to avoid Goodsprings in the future. Sure can. Take the road southeast out of town till it hits the freeway. Prim is the town with the roller coaster straight south. Can't miss it. NCR patrols do a good job of keeping the highway clear, but I'd keep your gun where you can reach it easily. You never know who you'll run into. Off the road, you'll probably start running into hostile wildlife. My advice would be to stick to the highway when you can. Until next time.
Goodsprings is standing, stronger than before. And me, I finally have a lead. The man who shot me in the head headed south. I take one last look at Goodsprings, the town that stitched me back together, armed me, and gave me a cause. Then I turn towards the Mojave. Out there awaits danger, chaos, and maybe even answers. With some supplies in hand, my journey begins. If you liked the video, please leave a like and consider checking out my channel. Hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.